This Liberty Sports Update is brought to you by Beacon Credit Union.
We've had an okay practice week last week. I'd like to see a little more from us. I think we're excited about the game on Saturday. They're a really good football team. I'm very excited to see how we measure up against what they've got.
You feel like your unit's full strength, healthy going into this?
I do. We've got some guys with some nicks and bruises. I mean, it's college football, but I think we're as healthy as you can be. I feel good about it.
One other one from me, then I'll get to Damien. Just looking at Virginia Tech's defensive line and how much energy they came out with against Louisville this past week. I mean, is that as good as you've seen on tape from them so far, or what you've been able to see, or what are some of the challenges that they bring?
Well, they're really good. They play really hard. They play a lot of guys, and I think it's by far the best group we've played this year. They get after it. I think they're great at rushing the passer. They're good in run downs. It's going to be a tremendous challenge for us.
Damien, go ahead.
Sam, we talked about Thomas Sargent this year. I wanted to ask you about him, a Virginia guy who has, a captain and has been, a leader for this team this year. And what can you say in his development and what he's been able to bring to the offensive line through 6 weeks and helping that group become, one of the better units in the nation in terms of running the ball?
Well, he's a good player. It's good to have him. He's solid. He's a lot like having another coach on the field. He's able to make calls. We made some changes today up front. He saw it. He made it. He's just good to have. He's had a lot of reps. A lot of things don't take him, don't trick him. And, as soon as he understands what we want from him for that week, he's pretty good.
Go ahead, John.
Coach, you hear a lot of coaches talk about, during the bye week, maybe doing a self-scout and, kind of assessing your unit, your team. Is that something that you do? And if so, what was your thoughts about how your unit's done so far through the first 6 games or so?
Well, we try to scout every week, making sure we're, on top of things. We played okay. We're definitely not playing as good as I think we could or as I expect. I think we've got to keep pushing. We played really good as a team, but not, everybody out there has got some things they can work on to get better at. And, we'll definitely see, what we got out of that bye week this Saturday,
Watching the game against Louisville, it looked like they were able to get a lot of pressure with the DNs. Virginia Tech was. Is that something that you're going to be stressing to your tackles here this week, is just being able to kind of hold the line, so to speak?
Yes, sir. They're really good. They're really good football players. And, I think we understand what we're going against and, understand the challenge we have for Saturday. It's, you turn on the tape, there's really not a whole lot to talk about. They're really good. And if we want to try to win this game, we need to play really good. And we need to prepare and do what it takes this week and sacrifice whatever we need to do to make sure we're ready for Saturday.
It's kind of a follow-up to that. Do you having the depth that you've been able to establish on the offensive line, rotating guys, is that going to be really important in a game like this to be able to rotate and kind of keep some fresh bodies out there?
I think so. That's why we're doing it. Getting some guys ready. Hopefully we can play a lot of guys in a situation like this and get some good minutes out of them, some good plays out of some of these younger guys. In this day and age, the way teams play, it's really hard to play the same 5 guys for a whole game and expect them to be really good. They're gonna break down. There's a lot of hitting that goes on between the O-line and D-line every time we snap it.
Hey, Coach, I got one more for you. How in sync does the O-line and the tight ends need to be in a game like this where, with Virginia Tech, with their line and with, how they're able to bring blitzes from different places of making sure, both groups as blockers do a really good job of picking up things, recognizing things, and being lockstep in sync.
Well, that's important. They've got to know, what the calls are at tight end. We've got to know what we're expecting from both groups. The tackles have to know what we're wanting to get accomplished. The tight ends have to know what we're wanting to get accomplished. You leave a guy like they've got free and let him run and hit Malik, it's going to be something, something we don't want because we don't need him getting hit like that for sure.